is ANN News Brief.
Good afternoon. I am Lucy Adeyemi. The United States government is removing Eritrea from its list of countries deemed not to be cooperating fully with the country's counter-terrorism efforts. The reclusive East African nation is no longer listed on the announcement that was published in the Federal Register on Wednesday. Still listed on the U.S. announcement are Iran, North Korea, Syria, and Venezuela. Eritrea is one of the world's most closed-off nations, but last year, it agreed to a remarkable restoration of ties with neighboring Ethiopia 2 decades after a bloody border war. The diplomatic breakthrough contributed to the United Nations Security Council lifting sanctions on Eritrea late last year. A U.S. congressional delegation visited Eritrea for the first time in 14 years earlier this year. Ghana is preparing for its first digital population and housing census next March, joining Swaziland, Malawi, and Kenya as one of the first countries in Africa to collect data electronically. Last time, Ghana carried out this exercise in 2010. Questionnaires were on paper. It took months to gather and assemble the data, and at least 3% of the population was left out of the survey. Now, the government will be going digital using tablets and satellite images to improve the reach of enumerators and make sure everyone in Ghana is counted on census night. Vice President Mahamudu Bawumia said the data would help fight inequality. The census is expected to cost $84 million, around 50% more than the last census. The government has contracted 60,000 enumerators, but is still working with the United Nations on how best to source the 65,000 tablets required to conduct the surveys. The World Bank says Ghana's urban population has more than doubled during the past 2 decades, rising from 7 million in 1997 to almost 60 million in 2017. Stay with us, we'll be back after this message.
Somewhere in the world, every second of the day, news is happening. And of course, Nigeria is bustling with news day and night. That is why ANN doesn't sleep. Our eyes are peeled, wide open, so no story escapes our radar. We stay abreast of world events and happenings at home. We keep you up to the minute in the world of sports. We give you information to stay on top of your investments and all the hard facts you'll need to navigate your day. If you miss us on air, you can keep up to date on our website, annafrica.net, and on our social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at ANN Africa TV. We are ANN, Africa News Network. We do news right in a truly African spirit.
A Sudanese rebel leader has returned home despite a 2014 death sentence given in absentia. Yasser Ahmed says he will stay even though Sudan's military junta has asked him to leave. He says he's in the Sudan to help resolve the ongoing standoff over who should lead the country's transitional government for the next 3 years. Ahmed, deputy chairman of a faction of the rebel Sudan People's Liberation Movement North, flew into Khartoum on Saturday after more than 20 years of living in Kenya and other places. He said the ruling military junta sent him a message on Tuesday ordering him to leave, but he says he intends to stay because Sudan is his country. The junta has made no public comment on the return of Ahmed or other rebel leaders. That's CNN News Brief. For details on these and other stories, visit our social media platforms and join the conversation on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at ANN Africa TV. I'm Lucy Adeyemi.